Yeehaw, partner. All right, you know, there's something like down in me that gets me excited when we talk about domestic cars, because by damn it, all right, they aren't that terrible, okay? We need to give them some love. They're not a redheaded stepchild, and they can turn, I promise. Against all odds, there has been a pony car that has been there through thick and thin, okay? It's been the affordable muscle car, a mullet mobile of sorts, okay? An accident-prone machine. Why in the hell is that thing so fast? Conversation starter, a robot from a land far, far away, and likely one of the 3 posters your grandfather had in his garage. I'm Alex, Alex.fi on Instagram, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the car that has revolutionized the domestic car scene. A vehicle that, bang for buck, is a damn good car, okay? A car that is, without a doubt, become one of the easiest V8 powered cars to jump into that doesn't look half bad and won't require a kidney as a down payment to repair when it breaks. Because, spoiler alert, apparently, high-end European cars are expensive. Today, we're gonna be talking about you wanting to own a new-gen Chevrolet Camaro. Or Chevrolet. You know, that's good too. And if this is the first time you're watching one of these videos, hello, welcome. Sit down and relax, okay? Don't forget to subscribe so we can keep making banging videos like this. And if you're just making dinner, don't forget to add a little bit of salt to your noodles, otherwise they'll get sticky. Plus, there's nothing worse than leaving noodles in water for a prolonged period of time because then they get soft and mushy and it's trash, okay? If you're looking for aftermarket wheels, tires, or suspension for your newly acquired Chevrolet, Camaro, or any other car you've got out there, be sure to hit us up over at fitmentindustries.com, where we have just about everything for your car, from works to rotiforms, Federals to Michelins, BC to air suspension, okay? Seriously, go drool a bit. Let's take it back to 2006. Chevy was busy producing a concept variant of the next generation Camaro, and people loved it, okay? It would win Best Concept Vehicle and featured everything that made a Camaro, because you have to remember, this took a little bit of a hiatus for a few years, okay? You think I'm joking? How about the dual taillights, which is an iconic styling design from the first generation? Rear fender had a little kick up, just like the early generation Camaros that went away for a little while, okay? Had a little fender grill or fake vent thing that was happening on the rear bumper that were on the 1969 Camaro, and even had a beefy hood that made the older folk a little excited in the pantaloons, because it reminded them of that cowl induction hood of the previous generations, you know what I'm saying? Ladies, calm down, it's gonna be okay. And because the Camaro was gone for a good 7 or 8 years, Camaro enthusiasts loved the concept and ultimately the final vehicle design, because it carried everything you would want from this badge sports car. Chevy didn't let the recession stop them. Can't really imagine why, all right? GM Holden would put through the final design, engineering, and development of the Camaro, which would eventually release to the world, all right, in 2010. 2 years after the recession, they're just making another sports car. Just shocking to me. 3 trim levels, the LS, the LT, and the SS. You had the LS and LT, which were V6 variants, which had about 310 horsepower, which was nothing really to cry about, but it wasn't super large either. It had an automatic or manual gearbox. And you had the SS, the one that people really aimed for. That one had a classic 6.2-liter LS3, which had 436 horsepower and a 6-speed trans. The SS also had an automatic option. But come on. Come on.
Come on.
Mom. You just don't do that. We don't do that here. There was an RS, which was an appearance package that's not necessarily actually a trim that could be added at the time of purchase with your LT or SS trim options. Now, domestic cars get crazy with just these 2-letter architectural things, but for the most part, that's the easiest way to put it. Once out into the world, it immediately took everything by storm. It won World Car of the Year, and throughout the 5th generation, Chevrolet would introduce all sorts of different trims and limited edition models and all sorts of things that made it fun and fancy and got all like the 27-year-olds excited. They had a Transformers edition, which was real, had little bumblebee stripes on the top. I remember my friend had one. There were a few special moments in the 5th generation yearbook, one of which was the 45th anniversary edition, which had a revised 3.6 liter and SS model, which had all sorts of suspension improvements and goodies for just 1 year. If there's one to get, go get the 45th year anniversary. It's actually a pretty cool model. But the big one that you'd probably want to aim for was introduced in 2012, which was the ZL1. Hot damn. This car was straight
Fuego.
This thing is banging. Guys, listen, and girls, listen, okay? You could not love one of these cars if you were driving them. They were nuts. It has 6.2 liter supercharged V8 with 580 horsepower, had some suede on the inside that made you feel like 10 miles, all right? 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds and a 12-second quarter mile. You were scooting, buddy. You were going fast, all right? And that's with an H. Fun fact for your Friday night escapades in the garage with your buddies, it was this year that Chevrolet actually dropped the line, you know, the dash, the hyphen, the thing in between the letters, all right? They dropped the hyphen in between the L and 1 in ZL1. Initially, it was actually ZL/1. When you're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and you win because of that question, call me or just send me a packet of ramen. I don't really care. The car continued to be beefed up year over year, even with a 7-liter Z28 model with 505 horsepower, which was weird considering the horsepower to displacement, but still a banging motor. And there were so many trims that Chevrolet introduced within the Camaro that there's no way we could cover each and every one of them. And then Chevy got through their awkward phase in high school, which was the 5th gen, and came out with the 6th generation in 2015. This generation Camaro would be produced here in the good old US of A, United States of America, sharing the Cadillac ATS and CTS Alpha platform. The Chevy Camaro continued to grow and where they saw success from the 5th generation, but it was a little bit different in design aspects. It was lighter, all right? That's good. It was narrower, a little bit different. It was shorter. That was weird. And had some design cues that people didn't really get behind right away. The 6th generation would be offered in your typical 3.6 liter, 6.2 liter, or for the first time ever, a 2.0 liter EcoTech turbocharged inline 4. And let me tell you folks, this hurt Dakota's feelings. It was the first time Camaro offered a 4-cylinder since the 3rd generation and was available in the 1LS, the 1LT, and 2LT trims. The EcoTech was not new technology to Chevy at all, but was new to domestic automotive enthusiasts who were used to vehicles only coming with 6 cylinders or more. There was never less than 6. The fact that there was less was very uncomfortable because people didn't like to talk about the fact that they had a 4-cylinder Camaro. Like, how do you brag about that? People didn't understand. It wasn't something that was quantifiable. It was a problem people didn't know how to solve. And on Facebook, it was really easy for people to tear into. The ZL1 for the 6th generation, on the other hand, had an angry front end, wider fenders, magnetic ride suspension, a newly designed 10-speed automatic transmission, or a 6-speed manual, and a 6.2 liter supercharged motor. And let me tell you, it was a big girl. The thing is absolutely massive. The 2.0 liter, you got the EcoTech, and then you got this huge ass car, which was just scary as hell to drive. But the newer Chevy Camaros have hit an odd spot for many folk because all of a sudden it's being modified by kids with their underglow and air suspension and big wheels. And next thing you know, they're gonna be talking about wanting to go to the ball and dancing close to each other. Take a look in the gallery and you'll find the Chevy Camaro is getting awfully popular to modify for people like you and people like me. But we're not here to talk about the history of these domestic bald eagle loving gas drinking machines. Oh no, we're here to talk to you about what it's like to actually own one. So you wanna own a new generation Camaro. Well, set down your Busch Light and grab your favorite Saturdays Are for the Boys flag, because we all got one, and let's jump into what it's like to actually own one of these things. I actually don't own one. The 5th generation Camaro is a banger of a car to pick up if you're looking for a car that can, you know, sound good, looks pretty decent, and can handle just about 8 out of 10 of everything. Throw it on some BC coilovers, ROHANA wheels, and some Nittos, and you've got it pretty much set. intake, tune, and you're a happy guy or gal that'll just want to do burnouts. Because at the end of the day, domestic cars, they're pretty good at doing all of that. The Camaro is still a domestic sports car that was trying to appeal to all audiences, so it's not inherently perfect in everything, okay? The interior carries a ton of like the nostalgia style from earlier gens, which can translate to some as a, oh God, this is dated. This is real heavy, all right? The whole like LED greenish blue looking HUD is a little odd for some people. Specifically, the dash starts to get a little uncomfortable for some people. The infotainment system in it has dated hard, and it's likely one of the few cars left out there that doesn't feature a super angry front end with tiny headlights and an overly huge grille. The 3.6 liter is solid, and the 6.2 liter is nothing to worry about either. These cars came out with a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty, which tons of people took Chevy up on. Hit the forums and you'll hardly ever hear of issues that these generation cars ever really had, which is a rarity these days, especially with sports cars. There always seems to be a recall or an issue or something that's going wrong. With the 5th gens, there was really not that much. The 6th generation has more of a dinner time discussion on reliability and issues, with most people telling others to stay away from the A8 transmission. The newer generation transmissions, the automatics just have some problems. And the new generation communities are still really big, but the 5th generation carries a much larger following because of how well it was initially received by the world and the fact that they're just a little bit older. Now, remember, there's a few things you'll have to remember. I could rap. If you do buy a 5th or 6th gen, one, you can't see shit when you're driving it. It's just something that you're gonna have to get used to. It's like driving Lambo. The pillar in the back, she's a blind one, all right? And not gas mileage, also not that good unless you got the Ecotech. Rear seats, non-existent, don't even try. You'll need to drive fast to truly enjoy this car. That's what makes the car so much fun from a performance standpoint. But from just like a daily driving, it might be a little bit tough. You can put air suspension in these cars, coilovers, staggered wheels, meaty tires, and you'll have a car that won't break the bank, that isn't gonna break down on you, leave you behind like your college girlfriend, and it's still gonna get you, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be a fun time. The depreciation, they've kind of already hit on the 5th gens, and the 6th gens are still going down, but you're not gonna get hit that hard if you end up with a specialty model. Although with a domestic, you're never really gonna be buying them to save a ton of money at the get-go. You're gonna be buying them because they're reliable, they're affordable, and the depreciation curve usually hits within the first 3 years, and they're fun, and they're loud, and it's V8. Yee. Right? The crowd around these cars are usually a bit older, but that's not stopping the younger enthusiasts from picking them up and enjoying them for what they are. A reliable, sporty, quick, well-rounded sports car that's readily available and easily maintained. Because Chevrolet does a couple things right. So what do you think about the new generation Camaro? Drop your thoughts below and let us know what you'd like us to talk about next. And if you're looking for aftermarket wheels, tires, or suspension for your newly acquired new generation Chevy Camaro, otherwise, be sure to check us out over at fitmentindustries.com. And of course, if you're looking to enter in to win a free set of ESR multi-piece wheels, you can check the description link below. We have a t-shirt, sweatshirt, and windbreaker. You pick one up, every $5 gets you automatic entry in to win. Plus, we'll be making a donation to charity. We'll be doing a giveaway. It's gonna be a great time. I'm really excited. This is the biggest one we've ever done. You can check that below. I'm Alex for Fitment Industries. We hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you later. Peace.